Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan, and I'm back with another VBA match this week. So this week we are up against the Los Angeles Weasels, and you can see their team on the left. They've brought a hybrid team that's part rain mode, part trick room mode. But without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. My planned lead here is Lipard Arctivish. That covers a rain lead, and it covers a trick room lead decently well. And then I definitely need a Bombastone in the back, and I think the best option with this is the Nidoking. I'm checking it out, but I have Flamethrower on the Nidoking, which will allow me to just cleanly take care of that Escavalier, and Nidoking hits hard enough that it can also substantially deal with Carbink and Incineroar if needed, along with, if it has the speed advantage, being able to clean up the Kingdra decently well. So yeah, let's just go ahead and dive into game one here. So the plan here, if I see a Trick Room sort of lead, and he doesn't have Foongus this week, which means my safety goggles are a completely useless item, but I 100% needed them if I was going to stop Trick Room from going up, is Carbink and Sin, so I expect this. I can't just lose to a Fake Out into Lipard, so I need to Fake Out the Carbink first, and then I can taunt it the next turn. That seems like the best option. Then I can get free Meteor Beam damage on the Incineroar. And we can just go from there. I don't expect this to KO the Incineroar unless it's super frail. Most Incineroars will be able to live this shot, but I mean, it's not going to tickle. It'll still be substantially damaging, but it's not going to one-shot it like it would a lot of other fire types in this situation, because Incineroar is just so bulky. So here I get the Fake Out on the Carbink, he doesn't get free Trick Room up, I break Sturdy, Fake Out comes out into the Arctivish. Okay, so theoretically what I could also do here is Fake Tears the Carbink and try to one-shot it, but I decided to play game one as if it did not have Mental Herb, and if I learned it does have Mental Herb, I'll rotate into the one-shot strategy, because here I just want to chunk this Incineroar, because if this thing does not have Mental Herb, I will just win this game off this play. But it does have Mental Herb, and I can adjust around that for future games. I will get my Meteor Beam up, and I'll just chunk this Incineroar a very healthy amount right now. Incineroar takes a chunk. I think that was a slightly high roll, but again, not hugely impactful because it's going to survive that hit. And here he has to switch in whatever he wants to switch in. And it turns out that it is going to be that Escav set that's going to be coming right on out. So Escav is out, Carbink does set the Trick Room, so I'm not in a great position this game. I kind of want to stall it out, and I'm thinking what my late game strategy is going to be, because I know he doesn't have Rain now, because I've seen 3 of his Pokemon, that means he can't have Rain, which means Nidoking is going to be the fastest thing on the field in the late game, and that's the plan. So here, I just want to make these guys, you know, pretty ready to eat some attacks late game, and I can just start Fake Tearsing everything so he can't feel comfortable as Trick Room is late, and he's going to have to kill something. He's going to have to stay on top of his switches and aggressiveness, but if I can force him to switch because he's afraid of my aggression, that'll be even better for me. Incin comes on back out. And the Fake Out pressure there is going to be a little bit annoying because of the Protect Die through here. But again, my plan here is to stall it, keep Arctivish alive if I can, and definitely keep Nidoking alive. But Abomasnow and Lipard are both completely expendable at this point. So I'm looking for something to go down. But he Swords Dances, which makes this so much worse for me. because I've taken some chip, this will kill Arctivish. If I hadn't taken some chip, it doesn't necessarily kill Arctivish. So I am trying to figure out how to game plan out these last couple turns of Trick Room. Abomasnow's switch doesn't feel like the worst thing in the world. I definitely want to preserve that Nidoking. But I also don't know what would target the Liepard slot that also hits Nidoking. And I'm definitely overthinking this play to some extent. Like, the correct answer is I sack the Liepard and then I switch, but I didn't leave myself enough time to do that, so I protect. But I do get the double protect off. Fake out will come into the Liepard. And double protect goes into the Arctivish. Okay, now I know I can successfully sell Trick Room because I got a double protect off when I didn't necessarily need to, but it's nice for me to have that little extra bit of flexibility. I'll just Fake Tears this Escav again, so it's super susceptible to everything. Obviously can't Fake Tears the Ensign because it's a Prankster set this week. And then I just want to put in the Abomasnow and let it die. Like, that's the plan. Let something just absolutely crush this Abomasnow. And we'll go from there. It does have Sash, so it will take 2 hits to fully crush it, but I very much expect him to double target into it. I think that's proper targeting. Iron Head comes on out into the Abomasnow, then I expect Snow to go down here to something from Ensign. And here comes the Flare Blitz. But it goes into the Liepard. It doesn't kill because this is a bulky Liepard. It doesn't kill itself either, except for the hail damage is about to kill this Ensign. And now I'm in a much better position. Because my Abomasnow survived, I get free switches now later, and he is very, very much threatened by Blizzard Abomasnow at this point. Munchlax comes out. I believe that Escav is at -4 at this point, so I'm just going to put this Munchlax to -2 and just launch a Blizzard. Because even if it's a Violite going to -2, this Munchlax isn't gonna like this Blizzard. So yeah, this just seems like the most straightforward play in the world to me. Like, there's nothing, there's not a world where I get punished for this play. Like, I get the Fake Tears up, and then, so wait, Trick Room is not over yet. So he could just kill Abomasnow here, which I am expecting. And then, if the Abomasnow goes down, I get something to switch in on this situation, but he doesn't kill the Abomasnow. And a -2 Munchlax and a -4 Escav, even though the Escav resists, is not going to like that hit. So now Trick Room ends, and he left Abomasnow up the whole time. I can get Arctivish or Nidoking in. Nidoking seems decent. I mean, I don't actually think it matters at this point, but Flamethrower or Earth Power both work. What I want to make sure that happens is that Trick Room doesn't go back up, because that's the only way he chooses a win. So I'm just going to Earth Power it and Blizzard, which that will KO this Carbink. No matter what this Escav does, and the Escav has to protect or it goes down. And if it doesn't protect, even if Carbink gets up Trick Room, it doesn't matter. So this is 100%er for me. I guess maybe if it's Shuckleberry Carbink, but I know that it's Mental Herb, so this is 100%er at this turn for me. So yeah, you can just watch the rest of this game play out as Abomasnow and Nidoking just sweep through the rest of this team. I will note that I do my best not to reveal additional moves that I don't have to. So I'm not going to use the most powerful moves into that Escav. Gives me the information I need without revealing anything additional. Although I guess a Flamethrower would tell me that thing had Ockerberry, which could be important to know. but I'd rather him not know that I have Flamethrower. So yeah, that's game 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and skip over to game 2 while we let this battle play out. So, moving into game 2, I think about changing up my lead here because Nidoking Liepard deals with everything slightly better because I don't have to worry about accuracy as long as he doesn't lead Kingdra. But if he does lead Kingdra, it deals with it substantially worse. So I decide to run out the Arctivish Liepard again, trying to use the same consistent strategy that I used in game 1 in an effort to build consistency. And then I'll lock in the other two because with what he's bringing, Berserker and Crobat don't really have a place. As much as I would love to use my Crobat set, it just doesn't have a place here. So he locks in very quickly as well this game. And we see that he goes for the Incin and the S-Calf. So yes, Nidoking would have been better this game, but I'm completely fine with what I have here. My question is, does this Incin go for Fake Out? Or does something switch? I don't think this S-Calf launches just a raw Iron Head into the Arctivish. That seems very, very greedy. But I also know from some calcs that if I get that S-Calf to -2, if I'm at +1, this Arctivish will always KO it. If I'm at neutral, I won't necessarily KO it with the Hydro Pump. So just a Fake Out and a Meteor Beam into this Incin seems correct to me. Just pick up a little bit of damage here and there. So Meteor Beam charges on up. So I see this Incin didn't go for Fake Out, which is interesting, which means I had a lot more flexibility with this play than how I played it. But I will just take going to +1 and chunking Incin. I do less damage even though I got a little bit of chunk taken that time. So this S-Calf does go for the Sword Stance. Okay, so my play here is very obvious. Incin is not threatening me. It either has to switch out or threatens to die. I don't really care what happens in that slot. What I need to make sure doesn't happen is this S-Calf get a hit off into this Arctivish, because although I think I survive it, I don't have a lot of fun with it, and if I'm low, then Arctivish can't do what it needs to do late game. So Hydro Pump and Fake Tears should kill this S-Calf, and that is the play for me here. Incin stays in. I don't really care what it does. And then Hydro Pump misses. So that is very, very unfortunate for me. So Incin gets a Parting Shot switch out. Oof. Yeah, that's super bad. Because now, instead of me having a 3-on-4 advantage, he's going to have the 4-on-3 advantage. And he's going to have better access to weather, because he's just going to take out the Liepard. So, theoretically, I could make some kind of useful switch here, but I kind of need the Abomasnow to come on out, and I assume he has Politoed in the back. That was probably wrong. I probably could have sent out Nidoking. No, Nidoking doesn't feel great there. Nidoking and switched into Abomasnow maybe, but I have to decide if I want to try and take out the S-Calf or if I want to go for the Kingdra. I decide to go for the Kingdra and then put Earth Power on the S-Calf. If he protects the right thing here, I am going to be in a world of trouble, and he does protect the Kingdra, which is the right thing in this situation. Freeze Dry comes out. That happens. Earth Power comes on out. And that's not doing nearly enough. Ironhead goes into Arctivish. I do live it. But there's not a situation where this goes well for me, unless he doesn't have Politoed in the back. But the easiest thing in the world is just a Politoed switch here. I should probably switch Abomasnow to Nidoking and sack it. But he's still got just so much flexibility to switch stuff in and out because he's got that extra Pokemon that is just very offensively threatening. Like, if I'm him, I probably put in Politoed and attack into the Arctivish, in which case a Nidoking switch is okay, but probably the wrong Pokemon to switch it for. But I was trying to make a play that he wasn't necessarily expecting to see if I can throw him off a bit, because I am very behind in this game. Because now the Drizzle's out, and I don't have access to... Like, that's the most obvious play in the world. That was poor switch on my part. But I was a little tilted trying to figure out what the best way to handle this is. Politoed avoids it because rain, obviously. But I do get a good idea of how much it does to Kingdra, which the answer is not nearly enough. My plan at the end of the game here is that theoretically if I protect and Energy Ball, there's a world in which I might do enough damage. But I checked some calcs and it doesn't kill from this range unless he's taken some more Life Orb or Hail damage. And that's assuming he's min bulk, which I think it's probably got a little bit of bulk because he doesn't need to max out any speed against me. But he goes for the protect again anyway. So the rest of this game is just going to be me gathering information because there is no out for me here. Like, maybe if I doubled the Politoed, but then he can get Incin in, and it's just all a major mess at that point. So I could go for a double protect, which is probably the smart thing to do, because he might predict me going for the double and getting it. But I don't know. My thought is, okay, I've shown my willingness to go for double protects because I accidentally did it earlier. So maybe if he thinks I'd go for a double, I can get the Kingdra here, and then I have life again, because then I can Energy Ball the Politoed. But no, he just goes for the Scald play, which is correct. And I'm out of this game, and it's just going to be me, again, using Abomasnow to try and get some information. So I see that the Politoed is not Rindo Berry. I see how much it gets chunked, but it is Citrus Berry. So I know it doesn't have a Walken Berry, which means the Nidoking actually threatens the Politoed. And it's Hypnosis, so I'm getting a lot of good information here. Later on I'll also find out it's Helping Hand and that there's Draco Meteor in the Kingdra, which he didn't need to show me all of that. Like, he has this game in the bag, but I appreciate having that information. But I'll just let the rest of this game play out and go on over to game number 3. So, moving into game number 3. I decided to go with the Nidoking because he showed no propensity to lead the Kingdra so far, and I've led the Arctivish every game, so he wouldn't want to lead the Kingdra. But I'm just going to put Hail in the back, lead the Nidoking Liepard, and if I see something that isn't a Kingdra lead, I am very happy. And Nidoking's going to give me slightly more consistency consistency than the Arctivish in a lot of these situations. Consistency, man. You guys can probably tell that I drink a beer when I record these sometimes, but oh well. So he's taking a while to lock in again, which is making me nervous because he might be thinking about switching it up, and that would be very terrifying for me based on my current lead, but we're just going to dive into it and give it a shot. Technically I have Sunny Day on the Liepard as well, and that's what I'd probably do in the face of a Kingdra lead, is Sunny Day Earth Power and see how much damage it does. Because his Scald wouldn't do a huge amount there, but I do, fortunately, get my Incineroar and SCAV lead. So here, it's simple. I fake out the Incin so it can't fake out the Nido, and I go Flamethrower into the SCAV 100% of the time. I definitely am taking a bit more time to think about this, but this is just the correct play. So my fake out goes out, Incin flinches, so he was going to fake out, Flamethrower comes out, but he reveals that he does have Aqua Berry, so he's going to survive this. But if he tries to go for a Sword Stance, it doesn't really matter, everything is threatened. Instead what he does is he just goes for the clean X-Scissor into Liepard. Now, I'm okay with that because I get to put Arctivish out now. And the SCAV without the Sword Stance doesn't threaten the Arctivish or the Nidoking substantially. So I can just Meteor Beam and Earth Power the Incin spot because that Incin has not shown Protect. It's shown Fake Out, Flare Blitz, and Parting Shot. And I don't know what its fourth attack is, but I don't imagine that he's running Protect. Especially because I have really good Ghost and Psychic types. I imagine he has a Dark type stab as well. So Meteor Beam and Earth Power will KO this Nidoking even through a Shucker Berry. So that feels substantially good for me. He does have Shucker. And then I don't really care what this Arctivish is going to do in this situation. I mean, not Arctivish, this SCAV is going to do in this situation. I'll gather up my Meteor Beam. And then just very, very cleanly, I will miss in the exact same situation as I missed in a Hydro Pump Game 1. And now I eat a Flare Blitz and I eat an Iron Head. Yeah, fortunately Arctivish is a tanky boy. One thing about my team this week is I am rather front-loaded with my schedule because I have a wedding this weekend, so Ryan helped me with my team building process a lot more than he typically does. One change I did make, though, is reduce the speed on Arctivish to give it more bulk, and really every point of that's mattering right here. But yeah, not a fan of what's happening in front of me right now. I bet this Incineroar is going to switch out, which makes me really just want to Earth Power that slot and let the Arctivish go for the SCAV slot, but I need to rely on something hitting there, because if it misses again, I definitely lose. But the Politoed comes on out. Drizzle will activate, and I've got a Bomb of Snow in the back still, so that feels really aggressive. I protect with Arctivish. Nidoking will get the Earth Power off, and he does target correctly with Iron Head, but Nidoking is not going to worry about that too much. Here I'm in a bit of a rough position. I kind of need to Hydro Pump the SCAV slot. And then Thunderbolt the Politoed slot. And I don't love either of... I like the Thunderbolt play more, because I know it's Citrus Berry, so the Thunderbolt's just going to KO, or if he switches, hit something hard there. But if he protects the Politoed and I miss, then I lose. But the Politoed just goes down. I now have full weather control, and if Arctivish is able to KO this SCAF, which it is, I have full weather control with my Arctivish still against a Kingdra and a Ensign. So there's still a way I lose this, right? Because his obvious play here is to fake out the Arctivish and either protect the Kingdra or Scald into Nidoking. And my obvious play here is so yeah, the obvious play for me is double protect. Like, no questions. Next turn is where it gets very interesting. Because after this board state gets maintained with Fake Out doing nothing, my most obvious play, like the level 1 play, is switch out the Nidoking for the Abomasnow and freeze dry the Kingdra slot. But that loses to Kingdra protecting and Ensign taking out Arctivish, or at least the game gets made very interesting by that. To try and find a play that's better than that, I have max speed Nidoking. So at worst, if this is a max speed Kingdra, we speed tie under neutral weather. So if I switch out the Arctivish, and then I KO the Ensign, I set myself up with a 3v1 where Arctivish will always outspeed the Kingdra. And I can just keep launching Freeze Dry here because Protect is going to fail. So that's the play I'm going to go for, is to get myself to neutral speed, because even worst case scenario is he scalds the Nidoking, which would be, that would be an absolutely baller play if he went to try and scald this Nidoking this turn. But worst case, we speed tie, and I can live with that. But he does protect the Kingdra, which should seal this game for me, because I can just launch that Earth Power. And now it's just a matter of what gets the KO onto the Kingdra. Because even if Kingdra does win a speed tie with Nidoking, takes it out, I chunk it with this Abomasnow, and then he has to quadruple protect to not die to Arctivish, and then he can take out Arctivish, and even then Abomasnow is able to take it out with 2 energy balls and hail damage. So this is 100% endgame for me, and I get a crit, so Nidoking picks up another kill. But very, very good games this week. I had a bit of bad RNG, but I'm really enjoying it, and I will see you guys next week.